my lit.
So.
Alright, this is a buyer's guide for 2000 Toyota Celica GTS. Okay, first thing. If you want a 2000 Toyota Celica GTS, or any Celica GTS, you're going to be after... I can't talk. You're going to have to be comfortable with getting inside the engine, because I guarantee you, any Celica you buy that's a GTS, which has lift, is going to need new lift bolts. We made a video on that. It's not very good, but we made one. That's the first thing you're going to have to know about buying a Celica, period. The more original stuff you have on the car, because of the age these are getting, the more stuff you're going to have to replace. It's just fact of life when it comes to cars. The nice thing about these cars is we're getting out of tuning parts demand and into tuning parts surplus. So like these lights, for example, they're really nice Spider Auto LED headlights. They only cost me $250 for the set. Pretty good. So it's a 6-speed manual transmission. If you want to sell like a GTS, you're going to want to look for a manual transmission anyways. It's not worth getting an automatic for these cars. And if you're actually looking for something tunable, you're definitely not going to want a GT unless you plan to turbocharge pretty soon. So with high mileage, 6-speed Celicas, you're going to start losing your synchros pretty fast in these cars. So that's something, if you don't know how to replace, it's going to get annoying and eventually get worse until the car is undrivable. So that is something highly to consider, especially if you're buying a manual car and you don't know how to drive manual like I did. You're going to wreck them even more, and then that's going to have to be replaced. Luckily, I plan on doing that relatively soon. However, you know, it's really up to you. You'll notice on mine, we've got some uh-oh spots right there. And this is why we have uh-oh spots. Do you have enough light in here? Okay. So if you see on this side, notice how the inside of the fender is painted white? If we go over here, you'll notice the inside of the fender is silver. And then if you look close enough, anyway, it used to say this was a genuine Toyota replacement part, which means this fender was replaced at one time and apparently not treated to the same standard that the original fenders were, which is why we have this rust issue. You can check all body panels somewhere. Oh, here we go. Every body panel is going to have the VIN number of the car on it. This is my VIN number, so I know the trunk is original to the car. Let's see if we can find it on the door. Here it is on the door. Door is also original to the car. On most Toyota Celicas, at this age, the parking brake is fiddly. If you have someone who's tightened it, there's a potential that they've ruined it. So what Toyota did, so if you look at the front disc, see how small the center is? It's smaller than my wheels are. And if you pop over here, notice it's bigger than the center of the wheel. That's because Toyota built a drum underneath the hub on the inside for the parking brake exclusively. And if you just tighten the metal cable from the lever in the car, whatever you call it, you will just stretch it out and it won't work. What you have to do, we'll make a video on it soon, is take the entire wheel off, maybe the hub, and spin a bushing in there that pushes the pads farther out. So next time you engage the parking brake, it'll actually work.
Right now it's the parking brake, it's not engaged yet, but let me engage it. So it's supposed to be working now.
So it's 100% engaged.
Yeah.
And I can roll my car backwards without any resistance. However, It works forward really good. You heard it click and engage.
Yeah.
So backwards, I can pull it, forwards at full back on the lever. So that's not great. Always run your VINs. That's for any car. Always run the VIN before you buy it. See if it's been in an accident. Mine comes up as not being in an accident even though that back fender is replaced. Check your VIN. Make sure it's not stolen. Make sure you have a title. Always get a title for a car. Motorcycles, a little bit different. Cars, gotta have a title. Like, there's no way to get a new one worth your time. Oh, here's a good one. You always want to have the fuse puller with you. So make sure that's still there. That's like the easiest part to lose ever. Another thing is, if you're test driving the car, make sure they haven't done the simple ECU reset to clear the codes. So like right now when we turn on my car, it's not going to show an engine light. Take it down to whatever auto parts store. I believe they all scan your car for free. Dang it, see, that's how these get lost. You put the cover back on without putting them away. So take it down to your local auto parts store and have them scan all the codes, because unless they reset it like full power reset, which most people don't do, it'll still have the history of all the codes on there and you'll know what problems you're dealing with. So that was a quick buyer's guide to buying a 2000 Toyota Celica GTS.